When I'm on the set and I'm sketching away, naturally, and I didn't get to talk to all the actors right away. Linda was one of the last actors I talked to because she was so very busy hopping from scene to scene. And someone told her, because she was curious, she was like, who's that? You know, because here I am wandering around the set with my sketchbook and never seen me before. And someone, I believe it was David Schwartz, the line producer, told her, that's Wendy Pini, and she's doing a graphic novel based on Beauty and the Beast. And apparently, this I heard, Linda hit the roof because she said, graphic novel? You mean they're going to put sex in it? Graphic? How graphic is this going to be? What's going on? So, and I totally sympathize. I mean, what did she know? So it had to be explained to her that no, this was just going to be a faithful adaptation. What I will say, I mean, the greatest honor of doing these graphic novels was that Ron Coslow entrusted me to do 2 new original stories. Most of the time when licenses were done for Beauty and the Beast, they were adaptations of existing episodes. They might have been expansions and new material added, but Ron wanted it kept within the framework and the canon. And the fact that he was willing to trust me after, I will say, an extensive audition. I not only had to audition with scripts, he rejected at least 3 scripts before he accepted Portrait of Love, and he had to be able to read it as if it was a teleplay. I couldn't write it like an ordinary comic script. It had to be written as if it were going to be an episode that they were going to film. So, and George R.R. Martin gave me a lot of coaching on this.
He had to learn how to do that because he was a novelist and short story writer, and so he came to the television and film thing kind of later in his career, and so he was probably a very good teacher for that, and also his sci-fi and fantasy background, and George being a very generous man with his talent. So here you go.
Well, the writers, we were commenting about this at lunch, what a miracle of talent came together to do this show. I'm sure most of you know that the idea actually happened between Ron Coslow and another kind of higher up person at CBS.
Kim Masters was the head of the network during the time that we were allowed to breathe, and then when he went, well, he was our guy, and a rare thing in television, somebody with vision and an idea about beauty.
And they had both watched the Cocteau Beauty and the Beast movie, and I forget whether it was Ron Coslow or Kim who said, wouldn't it be amazing?
Kim's idea, Ron wrote it out on a napkin, is what I heard. So also the idea of a television head of a network who had an idea, a workable idea for a show, even something as basic as, what if we take Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast and make a television show out of it? That's really kind of an extraordinary. And what made them think, and within the context of television, these people were brilliant and had a vision, and that's very rare in television. I mean, it's not so rare in the industry, but it's rare that anybody who has any power to actually get the thing made would want to make anything other than something just like the one that was so popular last year with that girl with the blonde hair and all. What's that show? I've seen it. And then it's that girl with the blonde hair, and she says, "Quick, there's been a murder. Let's change clothes. Let's do a show like that. There's a criminal in my hair." That's what they're usually wanting is, there's this thing, I saw it, it's in the top 10, let's make something just like that. They're very rarely saying, I saw an old French movie by an art director, and let's make a TV series like that. People like that are very, very rare, and so both Coslow and Mr. Lemasters, here's to you guys.
I just remembered I have another costume story to tell you, and this one's a little bit off color. So if there are any very young children, this is my last day on the set. It's 4 evening now. Everybody is going to be working till 2 and 3 in the morning, but I'm getting ready to leave around 6. And I was very preoccupied with the costumes. There were so many details, and I knew the fans knew the details of all these costumes, and they'd be expecting to see them in the graphic novel. So I asked someone, would it be impossible for me to get a look at Vincent's cape off of Ron, so that I could, like really see how it was put together. And fortunately, someone brought it to me and hung it on a piece of scaffolding. And Linda and her makeup artist, who was Linda's makeup artist? Do you remember the name? Well, anyway, they were very good friends, and they were sitting on a bench right near me, and so I'm standing there sketching, and they're sort of gabbing and relaxing, and I'm looking at stuff, and of course, as you know, Vincent's cape has all kinds of padded leather things going on, and fringe and patches, and it was different kinds of suede all put together, and very beautiful. It was incredibly beautiful. But I came to this thing that sort of hung off the collar, the sausage. Okay, you guys are way ahead of me. Because, now, remember, I know nothing about this. And I lifted it up and I said to Linda and the makeup artist, what is this? The makeup artist fell into Linda's lap, cracked up. And Linda's, and she sat up and she said, oh, that's the Vincent sausage. Linda plays with it all the time.